2021 is looking a lot like 2008, they say. Guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. In the meantime, you know what I'm doing. The Canadian maple leaf. They're really starting to grow on me. I guess the odd dimension isn't so bad after all. Specifically, the coins with the radial lines. I don't know what it is about the design, but it's so mesmerizing. You gotta love them. I mean, just look at it. I picked this bad boy up at a local coin shop for just over a 2.5% premium, which turns out to be about $50 over spot. That's definitely a deal I could not pass up, especially when all things are considered. The Canadian maple leaf is an extremely easy coin to liquidate, and I will be honest about one thing. It took everything in me to resist buying a 1 ounce gold proof buffalo. Okay. Enough about the coin. See, I told you, mesmerizing. Okay, let's dive right in. Throughout my time investing into various assets, I've learned the hard way how not to invest and to avoid FOMOing into an asset purely based on my fear of missing the hype train. Luckily, those poorly planned positions I decided to invest into clearly exposed my insufficient experience and ability to rationalize during my decision-making process amid volatility in the market. However, with that being said, I do believe the majority of people in the world today probably wouldn't mind hitting the jackpot from time to time. Just saying. Not everybody, but I would assume most. The chief culprit for encouraging the unpopular term FOMO is the chemical element in our brain we all enjoy, generally speaking, dopamine. This substance essentially transmits signals triggering our emotions for pleasure and excitement. But here's an interesting fact about dopamine. It loves attention, standing out like a sore thumb, and presenting itself as the crowd favorite no matter what the conditions may be. So when that asset you've been watching with the magnifying glass begins to make some serious moves and looks like it's primed to shoot for the moon, this is when the inevitable diva somehow sneaks back into your wallet, ready to influence your decision in hopes to hear the dealer call out, "Blackjack!" or straight up, "Bust! You shouldn't have hit!" So where does an investor seek safety and wealth preservation simultaneously, rather than risky investments and unpredictability in today's current market? Well, I'm sure you know what I'm obviously going to say next, and yes, I'll just go ahead and say it anyway. Gold and silver. Last week on the Stansberry Research, David Morgan was their guest, and if you don't know who that is, he's extremely intelligent and well known throughout the investor community for the Morgan Report, along with his wealth of knowledge for precious metals. During their interview, a couple of comments were mentioned that struck me with a bit of surprise. Naturally, I find myself remaining level-headed and logical whenever I listen to certain financial advice on YouTube, mainly when the content instigates subjects such as economic catastrophe, the collapse of the world reserve currency, banking seizure, and the worldwide financial crisis. Except, this interview was a bit unique, and I'll tell you why. If you know anything about David Morgan, you will know that he's not the type of guy that typically speculates or initiates conversation about banking crisis or near-term economic danger. He went on to highlight discussion about the US sentiment, the 2008 economic crash, physical monetary ownership, precious metals, banking seizure, and gold potentially exploding to $10,000. I'll pause for effect. Yep, no stuttering on my part. 10,000. Let's assume you know nothing about gold, but one thing you know for sure, you don't want to be left behind, and you're damn sure you don't want to miss the hype train this time around. Just like any other investment out there, your best method for entry is to dollar cost average in. Although it's exciting to think about the price of gold shooting to the moon, I think what we need to consider to be most important, and quite frankly, more relevant, is our ability to purchase at a reasonable price in today's market. Otherwise, what's the point? Captain Obvious would be the only one enjoying those kind of returns. And just for the record, I honestly don't think gold is going to reach $10,000 anytime soon, nor do I want it to, because that means I'm not going to be able to afford it. And I would imagine the most of us out there wouldn't as well. Just assuming, don't beat me up. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing I say is financial advice. It's just my opinion. Alright, let's transition a bit. I believe a person that expresses interest in gold and silver should always have at the forefront of their mind the purpose that supports their decision for converting their cash into gold and silver are a couple of things, one of which, wealth preservation. However, I would argue that most people would agree there's a common misconception understanding the difference between the two adjectives, wealth and rich. Yes, I know they're synonymous, but there's a difference. Wealth preservation involves managing your assets in such a way that ensures the value of your asset continues to appreciate over time. The idea behind wealth preservation is to maintain your existing wealth, rather than focusing on how do I make more money. A couple of factors come into play that drive wealth preservation. For example, the most obvious, inflation, followed by life insurance, a retirement plan, and protection against capital market risk. Ultimately, a person's wealth is measured on their ability to sustain themselves on their total net worth over a prolonged period of time, and accumulation of valuable economic resources that are measured in the sense of real goods or money. An asset such as gold and silver should never be seen as an investment with the expectation you're going to become rich and with the hopes to experience serious gains over a short period of time. The purpose of precious metals is to build and preserve wealth. Over time, gold has experienced a compounded annual rate of growth of 10% per year, whereas inflation has been about 9% a year. I don't know about you, but I think that qualifies as a hedge if you ask me. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Again, I hope you found something interesting, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. And if you did like the video, please help me out, if you don't mind, by clicking the like button and leaving your comment down below. I really am interested in what you think about my content, and I would like to hear your suggestions for any of my future video content as well. And one last thing, I'd like to say happy Labor Day to everyone out there, and I hope you're enjoying your time off with your friends and your family. Until next time, have a good day, take care, be safe, and like I always say, let's keep stacking.